Today we're coming to you live with Clint Thomas, and he's going to give us some insight on the history and future of NASCAR.
Going back from my history for the last 40 years, growing up in the industry, selling racing items to the race teams, actually working on some race teams in the 80s and 90s, I've seen many things that the older generation said along with my generation and even the current mechanics on some of the teams, whether it's engine builders, engineers, so on and so forth. Big Bill France mentioned that this was a show. That was the primary purpose of creating this for the teams that allow you to get to go have fun and race. Having a show really engages the audience. That's what creates the fans, is the drama. That's what was at Saturday night short track racing and Tuesday night and Wednesday night back in the 50s and 60s. But that has slowly become a money avenue product. And trying to create a product out of people just doesn't work. You end up taking out the drama. NASCAR has focused more on the car and creating NASCAR as a product to try to be able to sell, and they have lost the drama that was back in the 70s between David Pearson, Richard Petty. The late 60s was Bobby Allison, Richard Petty crashing, fussing, fighting. You had the first NASCAR race live, which was the Daytona 500, that Petty won, was the Allisons and Cale Yarborough. You get into the 90s and 2000s, it was Dale Earnhardt Sr., Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, along with a lot of other players. What they have focused on now is they're changing the car and thinking it is the major draw. No, it is just the activity. Now leadership in NASCAR is going to basically an Australian supercar that the teams themselves, along with the drivers, don't really care that much about. But they cannot say versus retribution from NASCAR for whatever the case. Most of them get it. They love being at the racetrack, being with their buddies, hanging out. You also do get to race. Racing is fun regardless of whatever you're racing. But they are taking a car that's roughly $100,000, $150,000, depending on whose budget you average it into, and going to a $450,000 car. Most everything is going to be bought from certain people that have a NASCAR connection, who is going to be making their own cut of the money. They also have to pay NASCAR a cut to be able to be the official supplier of that product. We need to get into further episodes of where NASCAR is going because of the expenses and what is their underlying issue of NASCAR and where the money is coming from. Thank you.